Hello. Welcome again to one of my tutorials. This outline is so fun. It's actually taken of my sister-in-law with her daughter and my daughter. So we made some little edits. They weren't originally fishing, but this is on one of our family get-togethers at a family reunion, and I'm really excited to paint it. So without further ado, let's get going. As you know, I love my medium round tip brushes. So this is a size 8. And I have my 24 color paint palette. And this is in my Landscape Watercoloring Book. So yeah, let's go. We're going to work on the sky first, and then we'll come into the water, and then we'll work from there. With watercolor, we like to go lights to darks. And what we're gonna do first is get our sky wet just with water. And please, if you have any questions at any point, please message them. I want to get better at teaching. I just want this to be the best experience for you. So if there's a question that comes up pretty often or different things that you recommend, tell me. But also tell me something about yourself while you do it, because I want to know who you are, your journey with painting, if it's more of like a therapeutic escape or just for fun or learning a new hobby, all of the above. Okay, so now that I have the entire page wet, I'm going to drop in my color. So I'm gonna grab this blue. As you can tell, I really like it, but it was kind of muddied up by my last painting. So I'm setting it to the side, cleaning my brush off, and grabbing straight from the tube. And then I'm gonna come up here and drop it along the top. If you wanted to, you could clean this blue off so it's not green, and then pull some of that and drop it in here. And because the page is already wet, these colors are going to blend together really beautifully. And as we get closer to the horizon, it starts to lighten up. You could leave it just blue, or if you wanted to have it be more of like an early sunset, you could add a little bit of yellow to the bottom, near the mountain. I don't want it super vibrant, so you can spread that color out. And then these two can blend together. Super pretty. You could even add a little bit of, I should have cleaned my palette off before this. I don't know if you can tell, I literally just did a painting. So things are a little messy. This has an orange tint, but it's still yellow. And you could drop in a little bit of sections here. And then use your brush to spread it. Okay, I'm gonna leave that. I think that looks really pretty. And right as I say I'm gonna leave it, I am just bringing it up into these little areas by the future tree. And then we're gonna move to the water. And it's gonna be a reflection of the sky and also the greenery. So we're going to get it wet again. This is called a wet on wet technique that we've been doing. And we're bringing it all the way up to this side, around these little rocks, My water already has a little bit of a yellow tint, which that's okay. I'm happy with that. And I have kind of mapped out where the shadows are gonna be in the river. And the pole, I'm not too worried about. I'm just gonna go right over it. Again, we're putting water everywhere where the river is. The rest, we're gonna be using a separate technique. Okay, so now that I have this, we can start dropping colors in. I think this light blue we can grab and pull it in here. The river is so quiet and like glass, so there's not going to be a whole lot of texture. You could add some of this deeper blue as you get closer. Really, the only reason that we put water first is it's going to help this all flow together and spread these colors out. Okay, and then while it's still wet, I want to, because this tree is so close, down here, you're going to see some of that reflection. So I'm going to grab some green. I already have some mixed, but we have some great greens here. We have this light green. If you're wanting more of like a neutral, you can have green and then you can add some red and that will neutralize it. Or you can add purple and that will do very similar. So you can just drop in just like this. See how that gives the reflection of the tree? I think that's so pretty. Starting with the lighter green. Leaving some of this space, and if you wanted to add in some blue to show through, you could do that too. And then I'm going to smooth the colors out. Okay, coming in with the darker green. It even comes in down over here too, so we could grab this green, add some purple, and just drop it in over here. And that can be the shadow. Same here. I think I want to bring in some like teal. So what I have here, this color, is green and blue and black and with a little bit of orange. So I'll show you this green, this blue, a little bit of this red and black. See how it's a little bit more muddy? I would like it to be a little bit more blue, so I just added blue in. There we go, we have our color. I'm gonna bring this into our sides. Maybe even some colors dropped in up here. And this is gonna be towards the base. And we'll lighten as you get closer into the river. using a clean brush, I'm dragging some of this color just because I don't want that line to be super apparent, so I'm trying to blur that a little bit. I think that looks great. Okay, that's gonna be our river. And then we are going to come in with, let's see, this is dry. We can do the back mountain range now. And that's gonna be pretty easy because I want it to just feel more, it's further away. If you are ever out looking at a landscape, the further away mountains have more of a gray blue tone to them, or some have more purple, so you could mix the two. I'm gonna add blue with a little bit of red. Oh, that was a lot. Red always goes further than I anticipate. So I think that looks great. And what we're gonna do is grab the tips of our brush, and this is called a drag and drop. We are going across the top just like this. Okay, filling that in. And then you're gonna clean your brush off, dab most of the water off, and you're gonna use the tip of your brush and the body and just press, barely touching that top paint that you just put in, and that will pull that color down in such a beautiful way. And if you are wanting more color, then you can just grab your paint and just drop it back into the top, just like this. If you wanted to add blue, like I said, how mountains further back have more of like a purple and blue tone, you could add in that second color just like this. Okay, we're gonna let that dry before we do any more greenery because we want the color up here to show through. So we could work on down here. The wood on this little bridge that they're sitting on is more gray toned, really weathered. So I kind of just want to grab this gray and we can mix it in on one side of the purple that we just did, and that can be our base. So it's gonna look like this. And you're just going to do the entire thing, and then we can come back in and add color afterwards. Just be very careful to leave the hands white. I mean, the clothes are important too, but it's gonna be really hard to fix the hands, any skin tone areas. And with the wood too, like if you run out of gray and needed to make more, it's not the end of the world if the tone is not the same, because the color changes on the wood. Oh, see how I just got in that foot? I'm gonna hurry and dab that out. Okay, so now that it's still somewhat wet, but you have a little bit more control, you can come in with a darker shade if you wanted to keep that purple and just come in. Oop, see that blended right in with that greenery. So I'm gonna hold off on that area and work on some other areas. So I have it drawn out for you, kind of where the shaded areas are, so you can look at the reference photo, or you can just kind of wing it and make one section lighter and one section darker. Okay, see how I just kind of came in with one section being darker? Now I can come in and do just a few little strokes here. See how it's getting drier, so you have more control. More dry. Okay, now you can come in and grab an even darker, like grab a touch of black. You don't want it to be like black, but a darker shade. You can come in and do these little circles. Another thing you could do once it's dry is come in and use that darker gray and come in where the separation of the logs are. I think that looks great. Maybe add a little bit more shade here and down here, and that's good. Okay, and if this dries and you're like, oh, I want to add some more, you can add some more. Now is the easy part, the greenery. And I'm so excited because it really is just kind of loose. And you can mix your greens. I have a light green here that I think I just pulled straight from here. And then I added a little bit of a touch of purple. Yep. And then we have this darker green that we did here. This is the same greens that we just put into the river, or the stream. Okay, and then we can add in yellow or whatever we want to do, but we're going to start back here, and that one is going to be a little deeper blue. I think I'm going to add one more color back here. Add some blue to it. A little touch of this red. And a little bit of black. There we go. And so tiny of dots. And you can leave some white space. But we're gonna bounce around. So this is gonna be the first one that we do. And then we're gonna come up here and up here. If we wanted to, we could even grab like some of this mustard yellow, bring it over here. And this could be a color that's back here. And that kind of blends in with it. This is just like a bunch of bushes and trees around it. So we can start here. And do some dabs. And then bring in our lighter color, mix that in with it. And as we get closer or deeper into the bush, closer to the water, it gets darker. And this could be our base color to where when it dries, we can come back and add a little bit more detail. I'm gonna come over here and do this lower part, which is the darker color. See how I'm literally, it's like on an angle, And I'm just doing the tiniest pressure. All right, I have that here, some down here, same thing, just little dabs. Kind of even feel like you could drop in more black. Yeah, just straight green and black to get those super dark bottoms. There we go. I'm gonna bring that same color in here, just to the bottom. And it's coming down. Dab, 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 dab. And I am kind of making a clean break between the stream and this. Okay, now we can come in with our greenery. And here's where we can come in with some of the touch of yellow. I think even like adding some orange in here. Let's see, this might be a good idea, might be a bad idea. I'm super loose here, as you can see in the drawing. Little orange sections. Ooh, I think that's pretty. Mixing this in. See how loose this is? And then we can come back in where all these like more distinct leaves are and add in some dimension once it's dry. It already looks so pretty. Making more of this lighter green with this fourth one down and then the purple. Gonna leave that now, and we can come back in later on. Could potentially add some like more green pops, because I don't have any like really vibrant green in here. And that could be in the leaves too. Okay, so now it is time to do their clothes. And really there's not a whole lot, nothing crazy we're doing. So I think I'm gonna do her shirt. She's wearing like a denim top. So I'm gonna mix this blue and I kind of like the idea of just having that be the base, and if we want to add more color in, we can. Okay, I'm just doing one wash and gonna leave some little bit of white space to show where some of the wrinkles are. Did like a little round part for her shoulder and then coming in and just filling in her arm. Doing the same here. being really careful that I want a very strict line here. We don't want to blend, so if it's wet at all, I would hold off. I think that looks really pretty. Okay. And she's wearing a green, like puffy jacket. So we could do that. We could do like a deep, grab this green, add in some purple because it's more neutral. Whoa. Some burnt sienna. I really want it neutralized, so maybe we'll do some red too. Okay. And just doing kind of filling the whole thing just flat, and then we can come in and do some detail later if we want to. Or we could just leave it because it looks really pretty too. Cute. Picking up any loose water so there's not any huge watermarks. There we go. I'm gonna use the purple and put it right here and mix it a little bit with the green so it's more of like a diluted purple, and do these little strands with the tip of my brush. Cute. And then we'll do this light blue over here. Can mix it with the purple a little bit. But that's gonna be, and maybe a little bit of gray. It's gonna be her little pants. Oh, that's more green than I wanted, so I'm just gonna grab from the two. And then clean my brush off because I don't want it that vibrant, and brush that color out. That's more of the color that I'm hoping for. And I'm gonna have Andy's pants. This little girl is gonna be black. Ooh, let's move on. I'm gonna grab some of that purple and bring it down. There we go. And then maybe we do purple, some of this brick red, for her shoes. If you notice it puddling, you can just dab it off on your paper towel. And then I'm gonna use this same color for this hat. Okay, now we just have a few more little steps left. We could do some blonde. For her hair, and be careful not to let the hat and the hair blend. Same with the shirt. We could do more of like a red tint. adding a little blue. So I'm just grabbing from the tube this brick red and blending it with this yellow and then adding blue. Filling it in. Using the tip of my brush to get those edges. Maybe even add a little bit more blue for this little girl. Okay, skin tone for these, I'm just gonna do this salmon color. We could even just mix it right in with this brown that we have. And that will give us close enough. And then we're adding water because we gotta keep it diluted. And here is dabbing off any extra. I forgot that I always forget the little areas right here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now the last thing that we're gonna do, it could be done here, or if you want to do some more detailed greenery, you could come in with a more vibrant green or darker or whatever you want to do, and you just use the tip of your brush to fill in these little leaves. Okay, I hope you're happy with it, and I'm grateful for you. So if you love it, send me a picture. I just want to cheer you on, and if you haven't already, subscribe because that helps me a lot, and I will see you next time.